Up. We got multiple variations. This is just there. It's really hard for anyone to compete if they don't have that. If they don't have that name, it's also the fastest way. If you currently have a brand in mind, we made a way where it'll still link to your site. Yo, 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 what is going on, YouTube? This is Josh with American AF Dumpster Rentals in Dallas. What's up, what's up, what's up? If you guys can hear me all right, let me know in the comments below. I was just on the dumpster or DRS Zoom. I was just watching a little bit of that. So forgive me. I am pulling up my notes for today's live because I actually took notes today. Thought that was pretty good. Y'all should be impressed because I usually don't take notes for a live. What is going on? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know in the comments. Say what's up. Tell me where you're from. If I don't know you, where are my notes? Tell me I lost my notes. Anyways, what do we got in the chat? We got 20 people watching already. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. What the hell are my notes? God dang on it. Anyways, what did I title today? I was going to talk about I'm a little pissed off. So we're going to talk a little bit about how pissed off I am. It's not a Friday rant. I'm actually not pissed off. We're going to talk about that. Hope everybody's having a good week. My business is very bipolar. It has been up and down. Last week I had a record-breaking day of a good amount. I think almost $8,000 in one day, and then Friday I literally got 2 phone calls. So I got one phone call asking what time the dumpster is going to be there, and the second phone call was, "Are we the landfill?" So it's kind of that up and down. It's just that's just business. It's just up and down. It's got ebbs and flows. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It's just kind of how business works. So this week, right now, my truck is back at the mechanic shop. It's been the same issue, so don't think that I'm going to the mechanic shop over and over and over again. It's just I've been leaving at the mechanic shop at the end of the day because they're open 24/7, and I'm just waiting on the parts to come in, which they were supposed to be in today. So by tomorrow, I should be done and getting my truck done. I had some DEF issues, the filter, you know, the government's wonderful idea of DEF in these vehicles, and it sucks. Let's be honest with you. So let's see here. Maybe my notes are back over here. I got a phone call. I took my. This is a side note. Obviously, this is me talking while we get some people in here and while I find my notes. But I got a phone call. I took my tractor in. I've got a little 25 horsepower tractor. For those of you guys that know about those at all, maybe you might want to help me. But it's been having issues. It's been clogging up pretty bad, and yeah. So let me turn off this DRS video. They called me today and said I had algae in my fuel tank. So I've got algae in my tank, which I don't even know how that happens. It's only got 80 hours on it, and yeah, I don't know if you guys know about that, but algae in my diesel tank. What the hell is that all about? Let's see here. Who do we got? I feel like I'm talking to myself. Oh, here we go. Here's the comments. I didn't see any comments. What is going on, Mr. Dylan? Dylan Dunn, always number one, baby. Always, always, always saying what's up. How are you, brother? Glad you are here, man. Who else we got? Wally Gone, what's up, brother? How are you? Thank you for being here on a Wednesday. James Powell says loud and clear on my wonderful Rode mic. Turtle Dumpsters, always happy to see you guys, man. What's going on, y'all? Hope business is going good. And what is up from South Florida, Mr. Roman? What's going on, Crit? Looks like you got an 18-wheeler as your profile picture. What's going on, brother? Glad you are here. David B, what's up, brother? I appreciate you being here. And Anna Lee again. How are you, Anna? Glad to see you on a Wednesday. How's everybody doing on this hump day? Checking in from San Antonio. San Antonio. Living the good life in the Florida panhandle. The Florida life. Hey, man, good evening. My eyes are getting worse and worse every day. Loud and clear from Fort Lauderdale. A couple of Florida guys. What's going on? Tennessee here. Robert, what's up, brother? Nice to see you. Dang, it's a busy day, y'all. We're doing good so far. Stiggs, what is going on, man? Stiggs Dumpsters from Northwest Lower Michigan. Hope you're doing well. I am. Today's a good day. Like I said, it was really busy last week, part of last week, and then Friday was really slow. And today I actually had zero. I didn't, which is good because, like I said, the truck's at the shop all day. So it'll be ready first thing in the mornings. Already got a couple dumpsters for delivery tomorrow, and I still got to head up to Keystone and pick up my last two 40s that I ordered. So what is going on, Andrew? What's going on, brother, from Dallas? If you're from Dallas, have we seen you at the, I can't see your profile. I'm not sure. Have we seen you? We got an Andy. Not sure if that's you. What's up, Mohave Equipment, Kingman Dumpsters, wall to wall and treetop tall. Same here. Busy last week and all cans out over the weekend, but this week is dead. Again, that's just, I don't get it. It is what it is. And like always, it's like sometimes I'll have a ton of 25s in the yard and 0 20s. And then I'll have all of a sudden a bunch of 15s and no 20s. And then it's just up and down. It's like hard that all dumpsters are kind of all out. This week, pretty much last week and this week, all my small cans were pretty much booked. 15s, 20s, and most of the 25s. And I had about 4 or 5 30s, and I've got 140 in the yard sitting there empty. So waiting on customers to call. But yeah, it is a little dead this week. I don't know. Who knows if it has anything to do with the economy, if it has anything to do with the news. People are paying more attention. This is a very busy week in the news. Who knows what? I'm done and tired of trying to explain it all or trying to figure it out. It's just up and down, and you've got to prepare for that. Up and down. That's how business is. My def on my 22 Ram sucks. I won't tell you what I'm doing to my truck, but it has to do with def. And I shouldn't have that problem anymore. So that's all. We'll figure it out. Daniel Lopez from Dallas. What's up, brother? Happens with tractors because of low run time. You need to put additive because of the diesel that was put in poop diesel. And that's the thing. They asked me what kind of diesel do I put in there, not what kind, but what's my process when I put diesel on my tractor? Obviously, I don't use it very often. I've had it for about a year, probably a year and a half now, and it has, like I said, 80 hours on it. But it's got algae in it, and they said I got to keep it full. I mean, I had a diesel truck. I've got diesel trucks. I had a diesel pickup truck. I've never heard of keeping it full all the time to prevent it from having algae. But it's clogging up my fuel filter, and it will not stay on longer than, 5 seconds. And I've replaced I literally replaced the fuel filter, the fuel line filter back in April. I replaced fuel filter, the fuel line filter, I did oil change, I did air. I was having a problem back then too, and apparently it's clogged up so bad that no diesel is coming through it. So diesel and water don't mix, so it's common on items not used often. Diesel Clean has a product that allows the water to bond to fuel and burn so it won't build algae. Yeah, man, I guess so. And and again, I've got another, so it's got the fuel line filter, it's about this big. And then there's another fuel filter that's about this big. Again, pardon my ignorance, but I'm not a mechanic. But I, took that off. Apparently, there's like a little thing in there that floats that tells you if you've got water in it. I didn't have any water in it, but I guess that tells you it's like a fuel water separator. Not sure, but it was clean. That was clean. So I don't think I had water in it. But again, I'm no mechanic. Fry and Sons, what is up? Utah in the house. What's going on, man? Wally gone. Hopefully, with the overturned Chevron deal, we can fix this def situation for used equipment. Maybe we can customize our own used trucks now. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'll probably have to look it up. Overturned Chevron deal. Um, that'd be interesting if that kind of changes the laws. I know California, like all these pre what 2012 deaf vehicles, they can't even have them in the state. You can't even use them. So they're kind of going for a pretty penny. You can get them not a pretty penny. You can get them at a pretty decent price because California's kind of getting rid of some of their older trucks. Middle Kentucky and looking to spread. What's up, James? Dylan's picking up his truck from Keystone right now, and he got AC again. So he took his truck to Keystone Waste Solutions. So Keystone is becoming all around uh, solution for dumpster guys, and especially if you're in the area, which is good for Dylan. It's about an hour and a half one way for me. So taking my truck up to them for smaller issues is kind of is tough. But anything that has to do with my hook or my system, my swap loader, or my pal finger, they're definitely the only ones that touch it. But as far as mechanics, I have to find. I go to my old mechanics from my old yard I used to park at. So makes it a lot easier. Those guys know me. They give me a good deal and they really take care of me. So, but if Keystone was closer to me, I would definitely take it up there too, man. Keystone knows what they're doing. Whims of the people affect the business. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Won't have equipment. Kingsman dumpsters. I believe my slow right now is from schools having started up this. Wow, that's really early for schools to start. I think my son doesn't start until second week or mid August. So that's really early that you guys are starting school so early. Um, but interesting. Let me look real quick, and we're gonna get into the topic of today because we gotta talk, y'all. We gotta talk, and Dylan's gonna know what I'm talking about, and but we haven't really talked about my thoughts on it. But there was we had our weekly networking meeting last week, and okay, let's start from the beginning. A few weeks ago, we saw a Facebook post in one of our local groups, or somebody posted it in our local chat with our guys that go to our monthly meetings. We have just a message, text message thread, and it was a local company who had posted pricing for his dumpsters, and they were really cheap. Let's be honest. The prices were really inexpensive or really low, and we just couldn't understand like, man, he's kind of screwing up the market, or he's doing it way too cheap. Let's talk to this guy. And actually, I think I am. I'm not sure, but I know we said, hey, let's invite. And I think I was the one. Dylan, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I was like, hey, let's get a hold of this guy and invite him to the next meeting and let's talk. Let's invite him to the next meeting. I see him all the time at the landfill. I seen his truck all the time at the landfill. So let's invite him to the next meeting and let's just talk and see what's up. I mean, maybe we can help him out. Maybe he can help us out. And likewise, he's literally in the town where I used to live in. And I do operate in that town a little bit, but it's right in the middle of my market. So one of the other group members reached out to him, gave him a phone call, and said, "Hey, we have a monthly DFW meeting. Again, if you're in DFW, you're more than welcome to come out. We would love to have you guys. We really network. We work together. We brainstorm, all that stuff, and we usually pick good restaurants. So last time we picked a barbecue place, and they had this what's called Texas Twinkie, which is their jalapeno poppers, but they're delicious. Anyways, I'm getting off topic, but so we invited him to our monthly meeting, our networking lunch. And he came. He showed up. A young kid, really young kid. He was 20 years old. He actually went to the same high school and graduated, I believe, the same year my daughter would have graduated. She graduated early, but he was the same class as she was. So 20 years old. He has a dumpster company. He's got a roll-off truck. He's got a hook lift truck. And he's got, I don't remember how many cans, but he had a good amount of cans. I think between 5 and 10, I would say cans. I'm not 100% sure. So we just started the meeting as normal. We just talked and we were kind of introducing everybody and just shooting the shit and introducing him to everybody else. There was a couple new guys at that meeting, and midway through the meeting, I said, "Hey, so." And I was addressing the kid. I was like, "Hey, so we kind of invited you out for a couple reasons, right? One, we want to network with you, and two, like let's be honest, like we saw a post about you or a post that you had posted of your pricing." And Not that we're trying to change his name, but man, like we're like, that's really kind of inexpensive. It's really cheap. Uh, and and I kind of felt, first of all, I felt awkward even bringing it up, but I feel like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about pricing, because why not? We're doing a monthly meeting. We're not trying to set pricing or anything like that. So don't kill me in the comments. But we're not trying to monopolize the industry at all. But let's talk about your pricing, man. Your pricing is really cheap. And he says, well, I mean, he actually quoted me at one point. He said, I was watching your videos a long time ago, and I guess him and his dad used to watch videos. The kid used to, he would leave high, I asked him if he did any sports because my daughter did sports, and he said he would leave high school, and his sport was literally work. He would literally go and do junk removal with his dad. And I highly respected that, man. I knew this kid, uh, he just was a good hard worker. He's a hustler. And he's like, yeah, my sport was going to do junk removal with my dad. That's how I started. And then when he graduated, he got into more dumpsters full time. So he said, I was watching one of your videos. Me and my dad used to watch your videos. And he said, I think you said at one point, he told me that, you don't step over pennies or you don't step over dollars to pick up pennies. And that's not my saying. I mean, that's an old saying from who knows when. I mean, but I probably have said that in one of my videos or something like that. It makes sense, but it's true. And then I felt bad because I'm like, wait a minute. Here I am kind of questioning his pricing, but so the American AF dumpster owner, right? The American AF dumpsters owner as a dumpster company was questioning someone's pricing, but then me as a like, hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to try to help grow other dumpster companies. I'm like, wait a minute. Let's be honest, right? Like the more I thought about it, his overhead is not the same as my overhead. His expenses are not the same as my expenses or anybody else's in the group or anybody here watching. He has a truck that's paid off. He probably is not, I don't know his marital life, but I don't think he's married. And I'm pretty sure he probably doesn't have kids. He doesn't have 3 kids. He doesn't probably have a big mortgage and 2 big car notes for trucks. He probably doesn't have all the expenses we do. So who are we to dictate, what somebody else charges? And I didn't say this to him in person, but I almost felt like I owed him an apology, and I still do, right? Because at the end of the day, we didn't really, we weren't rude whatsoever. We just were like, hey, one of the other guys was like, hey, if you charge a little bit more, maybe you don't have to work as hard and you can make more profit. Well, I guarantee that he's probably more profitable than I am because he doesn't have a yard that he has to pay for. He doesn't have, like I said, the big truck payments. He doesn't have the overhead that I have. So we've really got to, and it also reminds me of another video that I had done. I did a live video with Ricky Hickey, 0 to 100 dumpsters in I think it was like 2 years or something like that, and it was a really good video. I really enjoyed talking to Ricky. His way to grow was to, and I don't know how to say this, and you guys, let's talk in the comments below because I think we've all done it, right? We've all kind of judged somebody else based on some online pricing, but we don't know their history. We don't know what their expenses are. We don't know how they operate their business. So you can't really compare apples to apples, right? But I did that video with Ricky, and one of his ways to grow was he knew his competitors' pricing. He knew what the guys in his industry or in his area were charging for 30-yard dumpsters. He pretty much all he has is 30s and 40s, I think, just big trucks. But so I did that video with him, and he knows their pricing. So what he would do is he'd go down the main streets in his town because he wanted to get the most visibility possible in his cans, right? For his company, he wanted to get all the businesses that were on the main street in his town that had dumpster services. He wanted them to use him because they would advertise, his cans would be advertising for him literally for free while they're sitting there at these job sites. So let's say, he knew that this company here had ABC Dumpster Company, and he knows ABC Dumpster Company charges normally $600 for a 30-yard. Well, he would go in there and he would talk to whoever was in charge. He said, hey, my name is Ricky Hickey. And I do dumpsters, or I rent dumpsters out. This is my dumpster company. This is my flyer. And I can get you a great deal. And what he would do is he would literally go in there and undercut his competitor by $50, $75, whatever. And There was a lot of negative comments in that video because I wouldn't say a lot, but there were definitely some negative comments in that video because there were people who were saying, well, like all he's doing is going in there and undercutting his business, his competitor's business. And really, when you think about it, there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. You might feel different, but if he's profitable, if he's staying profitable, even if he's just breaking even, that, which I'm not saying you don't get into business to break even. Let's just put that out there. I'm not saying break even, but that job site or that business, that contract that he gets, first of all, gives more value to his business because if you can lock him into on a long-term contract, that brings the value up of your entire business up because you have actual long-term contracts versus one-off customers. That's number one. Number two is that can right there on that main street is paying for your advertising. What's the normal cost for a billboard these days? I don't even know. I mean, the last time I rented a billboard was probably when we first moved here in 2007. We were buying junk houses and we rented a billboard, and I think we paid $1,200 in Red Oak, which is a small little town, $1,200 a month for a billboard, and that was like '07, '08. Imagine what it is nowadays. Let's say 2,000 or 2,500, maybe even $3,000 a month or more, depends on where it's at, right? Um, so he's saving that. He's got his cans out there advertising for him, and he's not paying anything. So maybe the neighbor or a guy across the street or down the street sees his cans and says, "You know what? Let me hire Ricky." Um, so there's nothing wrong with being competitive in your pricing. And sometimes if it means going in there and being a little bit less expensive than the other guy, well, then that's on the other guy to either A, cut his costs, be more profitable, or B, walk away and find business elsewhere. So I really felt bad after that lunch. The more I thought about it, man, I kind of owe this kid an apology. I haven't called him yet. I'm going to. And hopefully he watches this. But if not, I'll probably still give him a ring. I got some pieces of advice for him I think I'll give him that I think will definitely help his business out. But he knows what he's doing. And he's doing what he needs to do to grow. I think we've all been there. If you've been in business for a little bit of time, we've all been there. We've done some deals. We've cut some prices out just so we can get cans out. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do in order to grow and in order to, but do it smartly. I'm not saying go out there and run dumpsters at $200 a can. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say be the bottom of the barrel because the least. What do they say? The saying. The least expensive is usually, I don't know what it is, but it's a race downhill, right? Something like that. I'm not saying go out there and be the least expensive everything all the time. What I'm saying is there's 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 1,000 different ways to get from point A to point B, right? And just because I got from point A to point B going down this path, absolutely does not mean that's the only path there is, right? There's multiple paths to get there. There's a lot of different ways to get from point A to point B. Um, and I heard this the other day. The only wrong path is when somebody tries to follow somebody else's path because that's how they got from point A to point B. Um, just try to run your business your way, and be profitable your own way. Not even me. I mean, I'm on YouTube. I show a lot of my. I'm kind of an open book. There are some things I probably don't talk about, but most of it is an open book. Just because what I do may work for me, and I've said this 100 times, I'm gonna say it again, may not mean that's how it works for you. So again, Josh, the greedy dumpster business owner in my area was like, dude, this kid, he's killing the market. He's being really cheap. He's making me look expensive, whatever. But then again, you sit back and you think about it. I've got $6,000 worth of truck payments a month I make, $2,000 yard. I've got taxes I got to pay. I've got a payroll I've got to pay. I've got a driver payroll again, driver that I've got to pay. I've got fuel on 2 trucks. I've got insurance. I've got work. I've got a lot more different expenses. And this kid, he's got a truck that's probably paid off. He's got a cans that are probably paid off. He's living a dream. Even if he's $100, $150 cheaper than me, he's probably walking home with a little more money in his pocket than I am, and that's fine. That's okay, and that's good for him. That's how he's going to grow. And as you grow, as you scale, then obviously your expenses go up, and then you have to adjust your pricing. But but yeah, that's my take on it, y'all. We've got to be we've got to do whatever we have to do in order to get from point A to point B and be successful. And try not to judge, because I don't know. I felt bad that I judged that kid. Again, I didn't judge him personally. It was a Facebook post, so I didn't judge him, but I judged him. You know, and he's a really good kid, and I wish him nothing but success. I hope he comes to every single meeting. And like I said, I've got some tips for him. I've been meaning to call him all week. It's just been crazy. So tell me what you guys think. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Is that interesting? Would you have been the not the greedy dumpster business owner, but would you have agreed with me at beginning, and then now that you're seeing what I'm saying, does that change your mind, or is it, anybody who undercuts anybody should be taken out and hung or whatever? I don't know. There was a movie, the movie The Founder, that talked about the guy from McDonald's, Ray Kroc, and one of the biggest quotes that I remember that he had said was something like, "If my competitor was in a pool drowning, I would stick a hose down his throat." And I thought that was pretty damn, like, that's super competitive. Let's be honest. Like, I try to get along with a lot of people in my area because I feel like my local guys are not my competition. Our competition is the big boys. That's who we need to focus on. That's who we need to like like fight 1,000% in order to be way better than what they are. Provide better customer service. Provide better better cans, better service, all that stuff. Treat the customers better. So when you're in the growing stage, you really need a group. You really need certain people in your area that can help you out when the shit hits the fan, when your truck breaks down, or just people with other ideas that you can sit there and talk business. Because I can't call my buddy in Wisconsin and talk all day about dumpster business because he won't know what the hell I'm talking about. I can't call my buddy here locally that is a police officer and say, hey, and talk trash, because he's like, dude, like, you're boring the shit out of me or whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. So finding like-minded people in your area will really help you out. So I wouldn't stick a hose down Dylan's throat if he's drowning. I'd definitely help him out, or these other guys, Dustin or Walter or Brian. Those are some good guys that I definitely would help out. But at the end of the day, if they're a little bit cheaper than I am, I'm a little bit cheaper than they are. I can't judge. Hopefully they know what they're doing, and that's it. Bottom line, and I'll be there to help them out. But let me know what you guys think about that, because that was really kind of eye opening for me. I felt, like I said, I felt bad. Kingman's talking about slowdowns. And Trail, what's up, brother? I purchased all of my trucks from California and had them outfitted, except for the tandem. Are they all like the pre-emissions? Is that why you got them? Did you get them a good rate? I'm kind of curious. And is there a website that you found them on, or how did you find them? Facebook? Anna Lee. Hope the Cali bug about diesel vehicles does not come to Texas. Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't think uh, Texas would allow that. I really don't. But then again, you never know. This next year we will have to pass smog tests now instead of state inspections. Now it'll be smog inspection. Is that here in Texas? About passing a smog inspection? I did not know that either. I knew vehicles won't be inspected starting next year. You won't have to get the yearly inspection for vehicles, but still commercial vehicles you do. I purchased my Hino and my Pete in California pre-emission trucks. Hopefully you got a good deal. And those are still valuable in certain states, like here in Texas, I think. Definitely. Okay, so it was, yeah. Dylan did confirm it was my idea to invite him to lunch. It was kind of like take him out in the alley and let's teach him a couple lessons. But he wasn't that cheap. When I really looked at it and compared, he wasn't that cheap. But again, he runs. Oh, excuse me. He runs 15s and 20s, I believe. Dang, 20 getting it. He's going to increase price when his overhead increases. Yep, absolutely. Joel, what's up, man? With the hundos. James Powell. Only two ways to increase revenue are charge more or move more units, and that's only two ways to increase revenue is to charge more or move. Yeah, 100%. And again, like one of the guys told him, do you want more time, or do you feel like already kind of running out of time, and you're kind of running around with a chicken with your head. And I think he said he has a full time job too. So he dumps. I don't know. He may or may not. I don't know about that. But I know he said he dumps early in the morning because the landfill. It takes an hour or 2 hours. The landfill he goes to is a really really long line, usually middle of the day. So he tries to go really really early in the morning, or really late in the evening. So um, to move more units would be very difficult, James, with somebody who dumps there because we are limited to how many cans we can dump per day. Around here, all the landfills, unless you have accounts, all the landfills are really during the day. They just have 1 to 2 hour lines usually. Um, so how many can you actually dump per day? Dylan is way up north, and he doesn't have the luxury to dump at a 24-hour place like I have. So I could technically have, and I have done it numerous times before, a nighttime guy who does nothing but dump scans, so that the next morning, if we're just delivering and picking up, and not taking as much time at the landfill. That is super convenient. That's very nice to have, and I am blessed to have that. But a lot of other guys don't have that opportunity. Robert, what is up, brother? Appreciate you being here. That's happening everywhere. Got a guy in my area that charges $400 a month for a 30 or until full. I have to operate 1 to 2 counties away to operate and make any money. And that's tough, man. That's really tough. But some people are doing it just to take over a market. And then once they take over the entire market, then they can raise their prices. I think that's what Ricky Hickey was doing, and that was his goal, right? He took over his entire area. He actually lives in a small town. He operates in a Midland, Odessa. It's small compared to Texas. It's big compared to probably other cities, but he operates in this area, and he literally made a name for himself in that area, like the go-to dumpster guy. And once you're that guy and you have that kind of demand, then a lot of people don't care what they pay. They don't care what they have to pay, how much they got to pay it. They just call you up, say I need a dumpster, bring it, and boom, you're done. Um, so it's a what's it called? Long term play, right? A lot of times it's a long term play. You go in there, you dominate a market, you break even the first, maybe even the first couple of years. Again, I'm not condoning getting into business just to break even, but I know a lot of the big guys do this too. Like a lot of the big companies, they come into a new city, they do it as inexpensively as possible. They dominate the entire market. They crush their competition to the point where they either downsize or they get up and go and pack their bags and go somewhere else, and then boom, they bring their rates up back so that they can actually be profitable. We can't afford to do that. We're too small. We're too small of a dumpster company. I can't afford to have a business not bring me in any kind of revenue for 2 3 years and kind of wait for that market to wait for that wave. Um, so it's a fine line we got to play with. Not charging too much, not charging too little, deciding on where we need to be in the middle in order to stay profitable. What kind of profit margins do we want? Are we okay with 10, 15%? Do we want 20, 30, 40%, right? A lot of us owner operators, if you're owner operating your own business, you want 40 to 50% profit margins maybe, um, because when you have an employee, that brings up your expenses sky high. That brings up your expenses a lot more. So you need to have that cushion, that room, in order to grow. So it's a it's a tricky play. Dylan says he seems like a very smart, respectful young man. After having lunch with him and talking to him, he's going to have a great future. Absolutely, I really do think so, Dylan. He's a hustler, man. He's a worker. Um, so he has a great head on his shoulders with goals and a plan. Absolutely. And I think he was talking about even, I'm going to not give up too much of his information, but he had some other things that were going on in his life too that were really good for him. I was proud. Not proud because I don't know the kid, but happy for him. Absolutely. So, um, enough to where I want to see everybody in my group. I want to see succeed, but I definitely want to see this kid succeed. Again, 20 years old, great head on his shoulders, nothing but and you don't find that anymore these days. You really don't see that anymore from 20-year-old kids. They're usually at home playing video games or getting drunk before they even are 21 years old, whatever. And this kid, he has one hell of a work ethic, and I respect that. I 100% I respect that and take my hat off to him. Antrell says, "Run your own race." Always been my motto in business, racing, and personal life. I agree. Absolutely, man. You've got to. When I was in the limo industry, there was so much drama in that industry, dude. Let me tell you, the limo industry, the transportation industry, has so much drama. And this company is working with that company, who's working with that company, and then this guy's sleeping with this guy's wife, and maybe not so much, but it's bad, right? It's just so much drama. And here I was, little old heaven on wheels. We came in out of nowhere. We didn't know anybody in the industry. We didn't know anybody in the market. I mean, we moved from Wisconsin to Texas. I had no friends here. I had no family here other than who came with us. So I wasn't able to call old friends from high school and be like, hey, I've got a limo company now. If you ever need a limo, let me know. No, this was 100% organic growth from the beginning. And I just stayed in my lane because if you get caught up in the drama, if you get caught up in the bullshit, you're more focused on, trying to be like Harry Sue, trying to be like one of the big boys, and you're gonna go out of business because you're gonna go spend all the kind of money to buy the kind of coach buses that company has, or spend all the money to buy the kind of limousines that company has, and instead of running your own, but instead of figuring out what your customers want, okay, and taking and listening to your customers and having them dictate which route or which direction your company should go. Instead, a lot of these guys follow these other guys paths, or kind of emulate or copy what they do, because okay, if this guy's successful, then all I need to do is exactly what he did and be successful, versus listening to your customers, listening to the people that are actually calling you and willing to give you money, open up their wallets to you and say, hey, this is the type of service I want. So I stayed in my lane. I was told early on that I wouldn't be successful as a limousine company owner because I didn't have, I didn't have like a company name that sounded professional. My company name was Heaven on Wheels, and this guy's company name was Premier. I don't care. I'll call it out there. His company name is Premier. Sure, he's got a 10, $20 million company now, probably big company. But first of all, Premiere is not trademarked. There's plenty of Premieres all over the country, so you won't know which one it is, even if you try to look them up. But he's got a very big company. But when I was sitting down with him trying to say, hey, I would love to work with you guys. If you guys have any overflow work, give me a call. This guy said, what kind of name is Heaven on Wheels? I said, I don't know. It's just a name that we came up with. Um, my mom and dad had a company in Wisconsin called Heavenly Carpet Cleaning, so we just kind of played with that name moving forward. But I thought it was a fun play on the word, fun play on the words "Heaven on Wheels," and it kind of described what a customer would feel if they rode in our limousines. And he said, "You'll never be successful. You'll never be a big company like that." With a name like that, you've got to be. Maybe you should change the HOW, or use some sort of letters in your name. HOW Transportation. I'm like, why do I want to be How Transportation? That sounds dumb as hell. But I get what he was saying. But my point is, had I listened to him, I wouldn't have been the company that I was. I was a very unique company, and I made a name for myself, and in an industry that was flooded. Let's be honest, it was flooded, and then Uber came in and flooded it even more. I didn't do car service. I did luxury transportation, luxury vehicles, limousines, limo buses, not party buses. Anybody with a school bus can turn it into a party bus. We did limo buses, very nice, elegant limo buses. So again, all that to say, this is not a limo video. This is a business video. But all that to say, you just can't be like somebody else. You've got to stay in your lane, like Antrell's saying. Run your own race. Listen to what the customers want, and go there. Again, when I started this dumpster business, I wanted to be kind of like what everybody else, not really what everybody else did, but I wanted to try to offer everything that I see a lot of other guys offering. I wanted to do rock delivery. I wanted to do junk removal. I wanted to do dumpster rentals, and I wanted to do anything else that I could possibly offer. And quickly I realized, one, it's hot as hell in Texas, and I don't want to do any junk removal. But second was that I wasn't getting very many calls for junk removal. I wasn't getting very many calls to do someone's driveway, or gravel it, or level it out, or none of that stuff. I was getting lots of calls for dumpsters. So why waste my time trying to be like other companies, or trying to be like what other guys are doing, and just listen to my customers and say, okay, I'm going to focus 100% on dumpsters and just do that. I'm not going to worry about junk removal. I'm not going to worry about, none of that other stuff. I'm going to focus on dumpsters. And that's what I did. So uh, listen to what you're, and I also have a good buddy of mine who started out doing dumpsters. Okay, he started out doing dumpsters, and in his area, he did not do very well with dumpsters. But what he did do was he was doing rock delivery, and then he had equipment, so he was able to spread out the rocks, and now he does nothing but driveways. The gravel driveways. He spreads it out nice and neat. He comes over with his equipment, levels it out, or does whatever you need to do, grade it, and off he goes. And he has a very successful business because he listened to what his customers were wanting. He listened to what his market was in need of, not necessarily what he thought his market needed. So, good point, intro. Very good point. Appreciate that, man. Brandon, regardless of having truck dumpsters paid off, you have to set aside money per month as if you do have payments because that truck doesn't last forever. Yes, yes, and you got to account for wear and tear and all that other stuff. Absolutely, same as again being a owner operator. You should account for eventually having an employee, paying yourself, right? However, in reality, um, a lot of times, I mean, 83% of business owners, 82 or 83, something like that. I'm not good with numbers, but 82 or 83% of business owners live paycheck to paycheck. A lot of them, a lot of us don't pay ourselves, me included. On many, many, many years, it took me many years in the dumpster business and this business as well, to not pay myself as a employee of the business. Um, so a lot of times we do what we got to do, and if that means taking money that we were supposed to set aside for future payments or for wear and tear and using that to pay the bills, to pay the gas, to pay the insurance, to pay the mortgage, to pay the rent, to pay for food on our kids on our tables. Um, that's just what we got to do, and we'll worry about having enough money for a payment later on. But I get 100% what you're saying, Brandon, and you're right. You're absolutely right. Um, but when we grow, when we're growing and we're just starting out a business, there's a lot of corners that get cut. There's a lot of sacrifices that are made, and I'm not here to bullshit anybody. Like a lot of times that just doesn't happen. Um, so very good point, though. Absolutely good point. The notion that having paid off equipment means lower overhead is false. But he will get away with it until he needs new equipment. I don't know if that's false, man, because he does have lower overhead. He doesn't pay for a yard. Let's just say that. Let's not even say equipment. He's not paying for a yard that's $2,000 a month. He doesn't need to have two trucks. He can be very wealthy, not wealthy. Well, he could be, but he could make a very good living with just one truck and 20 to 30 cans and not scale. Because as you're scaling, obviously the expenses go up. But as you're scaling, your expenses go up even higher until you get to the point where it kind of levels out to where you're fully operational with a second truck and all the dumpsters that come along with that second truck. And as soon as I get a third truck, my expenses are going to be a lot higher than somebody else who's been operating three trucks, let's say, for a year or 2 years, right? He's already been in the industry. I have to kind of keep growing that third truck up, if that makes sense, right? Let me know in the comments if that even makes sense at all. But so yes and no. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely probably not agree with that, and there's nothing wrong with that either. I don't mean it in any derogatory means whatsoever. I just think that, um, yeah, he does have lower overhead. He just does. You can operate a lean and mean business. I could have lower overhead. I could get rid of my trucks and buy used trucks too, and just run it really, really lean. But then you can also say that he's going to have a lot more wear and tear on his vehicle, a lot more upkeep. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. But again, we do what we got to do. But I appreciate that. I appreciate the comment for sure. And Lee, that is correct, Brandon. It is true. Vegas is Pro Services LLC. My name is William Vega with Vega's Pro Services out of Rockmart, Georgia. What is going on, William? Appreciate you being here. Question: how many rentals would you say would be safe to buy another truck and hire a driver? Currently averaging 50 per month. 50 rentals per month. How many rentals would you say will be safe to buy another truck? So one truck. I don't know. It just really depends. Let's talk again, different areas, completely different operations, right? You've got somebody like Daniel, Daniel the dumpster helper, who his yard is literally across the street from his transfer station, and I've been on the phone with him, and sometimes within 15 minutes he's gone from his yard to his transfer station, dumped, and already delivering in 15 minutes. I can't even walk. I can't even drive from my yard to the freeway in under 15 minutes. I can't. I mean, my area is so vast. Landfill times are crazy. So it's really hard to say. I mean, you know, I, I hired a full time driver at right about 20 cans, and I don't know how many dumpsters I was doing per month, how many I was doing per month, but right about 20 cans, let's say, and it's usually on average 3 to 3.5 dumpsters per month per dumpster. So let's say 60 dumpsters per month. Let's just throw that number out there. That was probably right when I hired a full time driver, and then I was able to buy a second truck, and then I bought 10 cans for that second truck, 10 30s, and then I'm growing that second truck up to where I'm pretty much full time as it is now. And I'm kind of already contemplating hiring a second full timer. Actually, I already talked to probably a family member who's going to be working full time for me towards the end of the year, hopefully beginning of next year. So if he pulls through, then I'll be hiring him and picking up a third truck and kind of continuing to grow that way. It's not necessarily a number to me. It's more of how much am I working. I don't want to always be full time in this business. I just want to be filling. So as soon as I get to full time, 40, 50 hours a week, steady, consistently, and I'm renting them out, making money, then it's time for me to buy another truck and put myself in that third truck, and then have the second driver drive my truck, if that makes sense. Hopefully that helps you out, Vega. Appreciate you being here, brother. And Charles says Facebook, Richie Brothers, and my little salesman got great deals on all those where he bought his trucks from. Richie Brothers. Richie Brothers. I haven't heard that. I'll have to look it up. And my little salesman. If you find a good hook lift, Antro, let me know, brother. Probably I won't be in the market for another tandem and probably till the end of the year, early next year. But it will definitely be another tandem and running 30s and 40s. Not to share all his details in business or his business or details, but he's a student running dumpsters, average 16-hour days between the two. So he's still a student. I didn't know that. Maybe I didn't hear that, but again, he's a hustler. Undercutting sometimes ruins the market for good for everyone. I ran and owned an automotive accessory shop, and when I first started, it was starting at $3.99 to touch a car. When I sold the shop, 18 years. Starting at $3.99. You're talking about $399 to touch a car. Later, I was a high guy at $190. Appreciate that, Tommy. That's what me and my wife have been thinking as well. Agreed. Ontario says, just adjusted my prices. Everyone in my area lowered theirs when summer hit, and I didn't catch the play. Excuse me. I don't have COVID, but apparently, I don't know if you guys heard, Biden has COVID now. Kind of interesting. But, anyways, let me know in the comments below if you think that's bullshit. But our president now has COVID again. Anyways, this is not politics. Thankfully, my overhead is super low. Trucks paid for, bins paid for, just parking insurance. Again, and again, is your overhead lower? I don't know. Brandon was talking about earlier. I mean, just because you don't have a truck payment doesn't mean you shouldn't account for that. Why not? I mean, if you don't have a truck payment, sure you can put some money aside, but not all of it, right? If I'm making a $2,500 truck note every month, and I don't have that truck note anymore, well, maybe I'll put aside half of that towards maintenance, future maintenance, and the other half it just goes to the bottom dollar. I don't know, but you're right. Like I said, Brandon was right when he said the trucks won't last forever. Um, you should always account for another truck eventually, but hopefully, uh, my goal is to keep growing. Obviously, is that realistic? I don't know, but I don't want to be. I don't want to flatline. I don't want to have the same amount of revenue every single month over month from last year. I would like to be at 20, 30%, a healthy profit or a healthy increase over last year. So I don't know. Business is finicky. You could talk all day, and we could talk differences of opinions, and everyone will have one, and everyone is right. It doesn't mean that no one's wrong. My viewpoint may be different from somebody else's, or his, or that guy's, or whatever. But that's business. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there was a rule book for business, we would all be successful, right? 83% of businesses would not be living paycheck to paycheck if there was like a book that we can follow from chapter 1 to chapter 100 on how to be successful. There's no book, and again, nobody's road and nobody's path is the same at all. um, we could all be successful, or we could all be failures, or we could all fail in business, but we would have all taken different paths. Which that's what makes business so fun. It also makes it such a good thing to talk about and get other people's opinions, and take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it's called, with a grain of salt, right? Because not everybody's opinion is right, and not everybody's is wrong. Uh, I could talk business all day, to be honest with you. Brandon, when I lived in Atlanta, I was renovating my house and rented several dumpsters from a company who literally had no time limit on the dumpsters and did not charge per day. I kept up some of them for many months, and they didn't care. Yep. Uh, they didn't care for many months, and they didn't care. They sold their business recently for many million, and now, man, I'm getting blurry. Now they limit the rentals to 2 weeks. Pretty crazy. Okay, so Brandon makes a good point. Listen, I looked at a company that was for sale. That they are a $6 to $8 million company in rev. Well, it was actually $8 million in revenue. Their asking price was between 6 to 8 million, which was a lot. That's why I'm only talking about it, and I didn't buy it. But $8 million in revenue, $6 to $8 million was their sales price. And guess what? They don't charge nothing for the dumpster. They only charge tonnage. So you say, hey, ABC dumpster company, I want a dumpster over here at this job site. They'll be, yeah, no problem. We'll bring it over tomorrow. They drop it off. They don't charge me anything. When it's full, I call them up and say, hey, ABC company, the dumpster's full. Can you come pick it up and give me a swap out? Yeah, sure, no problem. And then they charge tonnage. So they pick it up, dump it, and then whatever the tonnage is, obviously they have their profit margins built into their tonnage rates. But there was no haul rate. There was no rental rate. And I can keep it for up to 30 days without being charged anything. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And I think they had said something, they have an inactivity fee after 30 days, where, it's just like a minimal $200 charge or something like that if the can's just sitting. But other than that, it's their profit, all their pricing is built into tonnage. What you use is what you get, or you pay for what you use. Is that wrong? Hell no. They made it up to $8 million a year in revenue, 13, 14 trucks at the time, and 500 to 600 cans. So, and they had a high rise downtown Dallas for offices. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If someone was to buy it, like Brandon's saying here, guess what? If you have to buy it and then pay for it, right? You have a huge. Let's say you get an SBA loan, you have a huge payment to make. Well, yeah, you're gonna have to make some changes because, while that guy was probably doing okay with a 2 to 5% profit margin on $8 million a year, well, when you're making a SBA loan of, let's say, $20,000 a month or $50,000 a month or whatever it may be, well, that money's got to come from somewhere, right? If that makes sense. Hopefully, you guys understand what I'm saying. So that would make sense that they had to change their pricing structure because it's just not profitable when you have, a note to pay, an SBA loan or something like that, a purchase to pay. Yo, what is up, Mountain Life, man? Glad to see you here. Happy Wednesday to you, brother. I feel like as I get older, I get more of a stuttering problem. I never used to stutter. I also never used to talk as much either, though. I feel like I talk so damn much nowadays. I don't know. Anyways, what's up, Robert? Let's see. We try to be close to what everyone else is charging. Okay, so it brings up a good point. But do you know your numbers, right? Do you know your numbers? Because a lot of guys I've even said it on the channel before. Like, call your competition, find out where you're at as far as they're concerned, find out what they charge. Don't be too high, don't be too low. Maybe you should be right in the middle, but you should know your numbers. Meaning, you should be running a profit and loss statement. If you don't, and you are a legitimate company, this is not like, let's say, a side hustle right now. If you are considering yourself a legitimate company, you are a actual company. This is your full time gig, even if it's your part time. You should know your numbers, right? And if you don't know how to do that, hire somebody. Look, bookkeepers nowadays, you can get a bookkeeper to run your numbers for you and give you a monthly P&L, a monthly balance sheet. And if you don't even know what I'm talking about, then you really need somebody to help you out, because I didn't. And I'm not knocking you. I'm just telling you, I didn't know a long time ago what that stuff was. You hire an accountant, and I'm not talking an accountant or a CPA. I'm talking about a bookkeeper, somebody to run your books. $300 a month is about the going rate right now for somebody to run your QuickBooks for you. Somebody to be able to tell you, hey, Josh, you need to raise your rates. You're not very profitable. Or, hey, Josh, you made 32% profit margins last month, whatever it may be. Or, hey, Josh, you're starting to have a big you need to spend some money by the end of the year because you're going to have a big tax note next year, a tax bill next year. So you need to, offset that by buying some equipment. You need a bookkeeper if you don't. So hopefully this is a kick in the butt to some of you guys who are just kind of, you know, doing the whole checkbook accounting, because I've done that. I've done that a lot. I base my business's health based on opening up my bank account and seeing how much money is in the checking account versus what it's actually making, what it actually is profiting. Um, there's a big difference in that, guys. And I really, guys, want you to stress that, or want you guys to understand that. You got to know your numbers. And when you know your numbers, you will know how to price your dumpsters, where to price it so that you can have a healthy profit, so that you're not taking advantage of a customer, but that you're also not being taken advantage of or giving away the farm for free. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense, yo. Share. Guys, dumpster showcase, the Lone Star Dumpster Showcase, November 11th and 12th at Keystone Waste Solutions. We have lined up the keynote speaker. I am super excited about the keynote speaker. It is a person outside the industry, not a dumpster guy. And a lot of you guys might know who this is, but I'm not announcing it yet. We are doing a 10-part kind of guess who the speaker is on Facebook. For those of you guys who guessed the correct speaker, there might be some prizes in it for you, including a couple free hats. I still owe a guy a hat. I still owe a guy from YouTube a hat. I have not forgotten about you. I will get you the hat eventually. But so if you go over to the YouTube Dumpster Rentals 101 page, if you're not on there, get on there and try to start guessing the speakers. It's going to be a 10-part series. Probably every other day I'll run a little clue on who it is. But it's all about knowing your margins, in my opinion. Yeah, I didn't even see that until right now. Fry and Sons, exactly, 100%. Tommy F. Robert, that's what we do. I called everyone around to get their pricing when I started, and I figured out where I wanted to be at and priced with the current market. Now, the question is, Tommy, for you is, based on the price that you do, or the price that you have set, and based on your expenses, what is your profit margin? What are you taking home? Do you have that? Do you know that number? And if you don't, pay a bookkeeper the $300 a month and have them help you out with that, because that is, and I'm not saying just you, I'm not calling you out at all. In general, I'm saying anybody watching this. I was asked today if I even had hair because all they see me in is a hat, so that was kind of funny. It was one of the vendors for the showcase. So yeah, I got hair. All right, James Powell says, I'm lower than most, but I live in a town of 800 and have to operate 40 to 50 miles away. Every salary jack around here has a pickup and utility trailer, and why pay Jimco when they can tote it? Very true. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But as long as you're profitable and it's worth it and it's worth your while, again, some people's idea of success is different than others, right? James might be in $1 million house, and I might be in a $150,000 house. His mortgage might be $10,000 a month, and mine might be $800 a month. I don't know. Um, and he might be still shooting for the stars. I might be content exactly where I am. I might not, there's some people that don't want to grow their business to 1 million, 2 million, 5 million. There's some people that just want a good lifestyle, stress free, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if that's me, let's say, and I'm only charging $300 a rental, but I'm bringing home enough to where I can gladly or very well pay for my mortgage, my family, my food, my this, my that, then I'm a success. Then I'm successful in my opinion, right? So just an example, but everybody's idea of success is different. Let's see here. Alex says Richie Bros are big out here in Houston. I don't think I've heard of them. Invite him to the show. Who is that? Let's go, Alex. Invite him to the show. The Lone Star Dumpster Showcase. I'd love to have Richie Brothers out here. Or make me a warm introduction. Josh at AmericanAFDumpsters.com. Brandon said, I agree. You have more over than him, no doubt. I'm saying that having one paid off truck doesn't mean his profit margin is way higher. True, absolutely not. Than someone who's paying a payment on one truck. He is Sim. He is Sim? I wonder if it cut you off. Oh, simply saving. Here we go. He is simply saving on interest, but that might be a washout because his maintenance costs are higher than a new truck. Yep. Sometimes. I'm having DEF issues, and my truck's not brand new. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, you're right. It will look this way until he writes a check for $175K in 8 years. Then his margins will look terrible. This is why I say to account for the payment in your profit margins regardless so you can figure out the true profit margins. 100%. Business is BS. I think that's what you're saying. JC Smith, I'm seeing an awful lot of trucks for sale around me. Been watching what guys are charging for dumpster rentals for months. I am still going to build my trucks and dumpsters in cash. Cash is king. Cash is king. Sometimes, so you got those people that say cash is king, right? And then you've got other people say it's better to build a business with, or it's better to spend other people's money and make money. So again, different ways to look at business. There's no right or wrong answer. What's right is what works for you. Um, you know, in business, you have to make a decision, and the only wrong decision is indecision, right? So as long as you're making a decision and you're working hard and you're making money, more power to you. But I appreciate that viewpoint for sure. Brandon, summary. Account for the truck payment regardless if you're actually setting the money aside so that your profit margins are correct and you can have a business that continues to prosper. Absolutely. My phone keeps going off. Blowing me up. Let's see here. $0 up front is interesting. John only charges $2.99 but then destroys. Did I miss something? $2.99 but then destroys at 9 cents a pound. That's great money. $0 up front, but interesting. John charges $2.99 but then destroys at 9 cents a pound. Okay. Oh, I think you're talking about John Cook. Redbox, what's up, brother? From Miami. What's going on, man? Nice to see you again, brother. Monthly P&L, yes, that's why I say account for the truck payment so that your P&L is honest and you don't think you're rich when in reality you're poor. Yes, sir. Your P&L, your balance sheet would definitely show your trucks. What is going on, little junkers from South Atlanta? Little junkers are checking in. Little junkers, are you the one that put the logo on your trucks today, or was it yesterday? I think I saw a post. That little logo, that little raccoon, looks pretty familiar. Tommy says you're absolutely correct in that. I appreciated it. Hopefully you're talking about me or whoever else you're talking about. But hopefully, let's see. Isaac, what's going on, man? Recently added dumpsters with my junk removal business. A few dumpster guys recommend I buy all 20s. 50 rentals in 2 months. Should I give it time to grow or add some 15s? Why? I mean, are your dumpsters, are your 20s working? Can you sell a 20 in place of a 15? If somebody wants a 15, can you upgrade them to a 20 without it breaking the bank? You're doing the same amount of work, right? At the end of the day. So I always say, like, yeah, I've got 15s, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're pretty popular. I use them. They're always out for the most part. And I also use them for concrete, right? But at the end of the day, like, if somebody calls for a 15 and I don't have one available, but I have a 20, I'm going to charge them for a 15 and I'll upgrade them to a 20 for free. It's costing me, it's the same truck that delivers it. It may be a couple extra dollars because it weighs like a couple extra 100 pounds, probably more than a 15. But at the end of the day, I'm not turning away the customer, and I'm even giving them a little bit more. They can, and I'm not. It's nothing more out of pocket. It's the same tonnage included, and yeah, I'm making the same amount of money. So maybe an extra couple bucks for fuel that I'll lose, but that's okay. I'd rather keep the customer and hope for more back to backs or more rentals from him than say I'm sorry I don't have one. So if your 20s are working for you, I would say, I mean, you're already doing 50 a month. There's nothing wrong. If you need more dumpsters, buy some more 20s. Do you want to buy more 15s? Go for it. But at the end of the day, as long as you have 20s, you can always replace a 15 for a 20. You can't replace a, a 20 for a 15 yard. You can't replace a 20 with a 15 yard, is what I'm trying to say. But you can always replace a 15 with a 20. Golly, it's getting late. So hopefully that helps. And you guys help me also in the comments. Respond to them if you have a difference of opinion, because again, that's what we're doing here. We're just all helping each other out. So, do you have another answer for Isaac here? Ritchie Brothers is a global auction. I got some. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Yes, I've seen them. Now I know who you're talking. I thought it was like a truck builder or something like that. You're right. All right. Ritchie Brothers sells a lot of different equipment, online auctions, but they have a big spot. Yes, I honestly have not seen them have. I should keep an eye. If I'm remember correctly, I think I saw them selling like before, like just regular garbage trucks too, like the front end loaders or side loaders and stuff. So interesting. Little Junkers, what's up? Checking in from Smyrna, Georgia. Robert Brown, what's going on, man? Ken Reynolds, how is the hook lift trailers going? So glad you brought this up. Hook lift trailer is on the way here. Literally left Canada on yesterday. On a, it's being delivered with another trailer that I sold that's going down to South Texas. I've got one in Wisconsin that's pretty much a done deal getting built, and I've got another one in Michigan. So it's actually picking up. I have yet to get my hands on it. So as soon as it gets here, I promise you I will either go live or I will do one hell of a badass review video and show everybody the trailer top to bottom, whatever you guys want to see. I'm excited to see this trailer in action, and I will probably take it out and do a full, at least a couple days worth of work in it. So if not, put somebody, who knows, maybe I'll put somebody in that truck and trailer full time, and just get a bunch more 20s and lower my price. No, I'm just kidding. I still need to keep my profit the same or my margins the same. But no, the trailer is on its way, and it looks like a beast. And then the other trailer that I sold that's also coming down with it is a galvanized trailer. First one I've ever seen that actually has a diesel engine or diesel engine that's powering the unit. That is like a $7,000 upgrade, but this customer specifically wanted that. So it is not a dumpster roll-off company. Well, I don't know. I know it's not. It's not a dumpster roll-off company. So whatever they're using it for, he knew exactly what he wanted. He laid it out for me what he wanted to order, and we made it happen for him. Camp Concepts made it happen for him. I was just kind of the in between. So, but the trailer looks bad. My trailer looks so cool. I can't wait till it comes in. I have not seen any guys go from trailer to big truck, now back down to trailer. But again, having a backup trailer, having a backup vehicle for my Mac, which has to go into the shop. Ironically, it has to go in. It's got also def issues now. And since I have a warranty, I'm definitely taking it in. And that means if I got to take it to the dealership, it's going to be there for at least a week, maybe, if not more. So it is what it is. But Now having the trailer, when the trailer gets here, having that as a backup will be, um, will be worth it for me. And Charles said, I've never had to call companies for pricing. New customers tell me what everyone charges. My costs are comparable, but my charges or my overages are the highest. Um, Charge landfill posted rates. I mark it up 1.5%. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. Little Junkie says, yes, that does. Yeah, he put his little logo on his truck today or yesterday. Looked really cool. I think it did look pretty sick on the silver background. Good looking logo, and I think that's a good call for you guys. So good luck with that. Cade, I'm 28 with a 2023 Mac 16-foot American cable hoist. Congrats, brother. Congrats. Way to be a hustler. Your content insights are invaluable. Keep doing God's work. Oh, I appreciate that, man. I really do. Sometimes uh, life gets in the way, but I do what I can. But I appreciate you being here as always, for sure. Are you advertising on Google Ads or Google Local Services ads? I started regular Google Ads on Friday and no bookings yet. Paying good money. Yeah. Any advice you don't mind sharing? Brandon, absolutely. I do run Google Ads. Local services, I did the whole guaranteed Google guaranteed service, kind of like a plumber. You can become guaranteed in the junk removal, which also includes under there dumpster rentals, and you can be a local guaranteed business. I have got zero from that, so maybe I'll take that back. Maybe a couple phone calls from Google local guaranteed, but majority of my new business is definitely Google Ads. I spend a lot of money on Google Ads. I spend a lot of money compared to some people, and I don't spend anywhere near as enough as other people that I know. But I spend anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 a month on Google Ads. My cost per conversion is right around. I think the last month was $53 per conversion. So you do the math. A good amount comes from Google Ads, new customers, um, and you will spend a boatload of money, and you can easily it could easily bankrupt somebody if they ran Google Ads without knowing what they were doing. So I always, always, always recommend two things. One, you get yourself a course. Google offers free courses on Google University, whatever it is. Don't pay for anybody's course on any of that stuff. Udemy, or I think it's called Udemy, or just Google University. You can Google it, and you'll find free ads on running Google Ads. It's boring as hell, but if you if you spend the time to do it, I guarantee it will help you run your own ads. If you wanted to go that route, or the second option is find yourself a good local Google AdWords guy. Now, there's a ton of people that are scamming other people out there for you're paying them for 3, 4, 6 months or whatever, and you don't see a return. Google Ads is almost like an immediate return. If you're not seeing an immediate return, there's a couple reasons why. One is you're not doing it right, or someone's not doing it right for you. It does take a little bit of time for Google to kind of learn your customer base and how to average, but it does not take months. It's not SEO. It should be fairly quick. So go with somebody that's recommended by somebody else that you know is in business. I've got a good guy. I'm not saying you got to go through him. If you want my guy, as long as there's nobody else in your market that uses him, he can work for you. He charges anywhere from, I don't know, it's based on your budget on how much you spend, but I would say $300 to $1,000 a month, give or take, maybe. I spend I think $500 or $600 a month, but it's well worth it for how much I spend and how much I get in return. So if you want my guy, you're free to email me at josh@americanafdumpsters.com. Do a free consultation with him. No pressure whatsoever. If not, find other people in your area that are business owners. Ask them who their guy is. But by all means, or for God's sake, don't answer the phone and hire one of those cold callers that are asking you if you want to do Google Ads with them, because that's kind of dangerous. So hopefully that helps. But and depending on your city, now my cost per conversion is $53. What has been as high as almost $100, and it's been as low as probably $15 to $20. But we've got it to right now average about $53. Now you might say that's expensive. I don't know. In today's market, I have no idea what's expensive and what's not. What I do know is I spend about $53 for an average ticket of about $450 to $600, depending on what size, to even more. And then that doesn't take into account, if they use multiple dumpsters. Because let's say if they use two dumpsters, with one swap out, two dumpsters, that $53 cost per conversion should actually technically be split in half, right? Because it cost me 2150 or 2650. I don't know. It's too late to do math. For one dumpster and 2650 for the second dumpster, if that makes sense, right? So, but there's no really way to track that, and I don't go into that far in depth to try and track it. But and tracking ads is extremely hard to do. But Nick has it down to my guy has it down to kind of a science. He's pretty good at getting it tracked well based on either phone calls of over, I think it's over a minute and a half or 2 minutes. I'm not sure what the threshold is. But if the phone call is over a certain amount of time, it's not just a real quick, hey, what are your prices? They hang up and call the next guy. Usually, if it's over a certain amount of time that I spend on the phone or that Alexa spends on the phone with somebody, then that usually means that that person converted and booked a dumpster. Unless you're sitting there and listening to every single phone call recording, there's no other real way to do it. And then obviously, like a checkout page on your website or something online, an online booking is a very, very easy way to track. But if most of your bookings are over the phone, then you've got to go the other route. That was a really long answer to your question, Brandon, but I hope that helps. Alex follows Little Junkers on Instagram. Let's all do that for each other, man. Let's all follow each other on Instagram. Help each other out. Help our social medias out. Good idea. And actually, I gotta look up Alex's too. It looked 99 times out of 100, you can give a customer a larger dumpster in place of a smaller one, but it may bite you. That one time because they wanted a shorter can. I've had it happen one freaking time, so it stings. So yeah, I mean, I guess my 15s and 20s though are all the same length. Well, I take that back. My my 15s and 20s back when I had my trailer were 14 feet. And now all my dumpsters that are for my Mac or my in between are going to be 16 feet because any of the 16 feet cans I can actually pick up on my tandem as well. The 14 footers are too short for a tandem. Usually, when you go tandem in a bigger truck, you're able to haul between 16 and 20 or 16 and 22 feet cans. So the 16-foot can is your ideal size footprint for a can for you to scale up later on. I wish somebody would have told me that, but I had no idea. So I did 14-foot cans before, and I cannot pick up my 14-foot cans with my tandem. And Trail, going back to a trailer just means you're running your own race. Yeah, man. And again, one more benefit is that I can hook up a pinto hook or a pinto hitch because I got a pinto hitch, a pinto some bitch. I got a wait. Excuse me. Backtrack. I can hook up a pinto hitch on my Mack truck or even the tandem and be able to haul my hook lift trailer behind my Mack truck and be able to haul two cans at once. That was also my train of thinking as well. And learning the product I'll be selling. Absolutely, there's definitely an ulterior motive for me as well, but I also wanted to just be able to introduce it more into the market. Um, they had told me that the previous guy had only sold like 3 units in a total of like 4 or 5 years in the U.S. I've sold that many. Uh, I've sold that many since before I even got my first trailer. So hopefully they will. Yeah, hopefully they'll make an impact here in the market here in the U.S. with hookless trailers. Loving the community and support absolutely to Robert. And Cheryl Pride, those damn commercials on the live feed is killing me. Oh man, I'm trying to make that money, yo. So I don't pick how much. It is moderate ad. So my bad, intro. You just gotta pay for the what do you call it? The premium YouTube, man. You don't get to see you don't see those ads anymore. Oh, we got the man himself. What is going on? Daniel the Dumpster Helper. Killing it out there. Anna Lee, Daniel is here. Google Ads guy is a must. Absolutely. The helper is in the building. The Dumpster Avengers are assembling. You know, and I hate to do this, but I'm just about to head out. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. I am beat. But Daniel, next time you gotta join us a little bit earlier, man, so we can talk back and forth. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you all being here. Even you, Daniel, that showed up late, and all the other guys. Dylan again being the first comment, and everybody else in between. I appreciate you guys tonight. VIP commenter was Brandon for all the different points of view and all the comments and keeping the conversation alive, as well as everybody else here. I thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys for being here. Do not forget the Lone Star Dumpster Showcase is going to be November 11th and 12th of this year. We've got some big names, big events coming up, big workshops, pretty cool event. So as always, you guys have a good night. Make sure you like, subscribe, smash on the notification bell. We'll see you guys on the next one.